Okay. Well, hi, Victor.
Hi, how you doing?
But really, it's hi to everybody in the tarot group, right? And this is pretty exciting because this is the first time that we're getting together to do a book review. I think we've been talking about doing this kind of thing for quite a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really like excited about this book that you helped me pick. What is it called?
Oh, Sacred Paths for Modern Man.
Yeah.
Right right here. Oh,
There we
did
go.
I
Oh, you
disappear?
disappeared. Oh my gosh.
There's that background.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Um, yeah, so I mean, I got that book for you, right? Like a while ago.
yeah.
Well, we've
Yeah,
still
I
got
mean,
uh-huh.
yeah, it's very interesting. I do like the cover. I would show you, but it might disappear into the galaxy back behind me. But it's I mean, from what I read in the introduction, I mean, it's basically like a pagan path for men, because usually when you think of paganism, it's always like, now there's nothing wrong with it, but there's always like, the goddess, and like when they show witches, it's like feminine. Like even in Hocus Pocus, it's three women, not three men.
Right. Yeah, it's
So
interesting because I mean, I don't even really fully understand. I don't myself fully understand the difference between witchcraft and I don't know, like what's the male version, sorcery or wizardry? I mean, I don't really understand what the difference is. I guess the difference may be in relation to how we deal with Shakti as a gender. I don't really know. Do you have any idea or
well, I think like wizardry, it seems to be more like out in the open, while witchcraft seems to be like secret. But then again,
Hmm.
sorcery is also like something that's secret also.
Yeah,
And
but it
usually,
doesn't have quite the same connotation as witchcraft, does it? Witchcraft is a little darker, I
I
feel.
don't know. Sorcery sounds pretty bad to, to me. Like, if somebody's like, "I'm a sorcerer," like, I don't know if I'm gonna let you in the house. Like, I don't know.
Hey, maybe you're right. I don't know.
Because I don't know. When I think of sorcerer, I don't know. I think of like these movies from the '80s, and they had like all these evil guys with like black crystal balls, and like they're doing something like horrible.
Fair
Even though
point.
witchcraft has that, like that movie, The Witch or The Vitch. I don't know. They sold two V's, but
Well, anyway, well, as far as this book is concerned, I mean, we only got through the introduction so far, but I'm really excited to do a chapter by chapter review with you. And actually, something that I remember from the introduction that made me happy was that this book is not only for men, right? It's also for women that are trying to get in touch with their animus.
yeah.
And I mean, so I'm interested in that, and for anybody who's watching this, wondering what this has to do with the tarot, it's all archetypes. Understanding the psychology and the function of various archetypes will help you understand the cards better.
Well,
So really,
would you
mhm,
want to define anima and animus? Because some people might not know what
thank
that
you.
is.
That's why we're doing this together. Anima is the divine feminine for men, and animus is the divine masculine
For
for
women.
women.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in the introduction, he's talking about how like when people think of witches, like they're stereotyped as being female or women, and they even think like because he's like an editor in some, I think, New Witch magazine,
Right.
and they assume he's a woman. But even though, I mean, his name is Dagonet, I'm like, I'm not sure what gender Dagonet is. I don't know.
Gender assumptions.
Well, yeah, well, that's what's happening to him. I'm not doing that.
True.
And
Good point.
he said he put his icon as like male, but people assume they call him Miss, or I mean, it's because it's witchcraft is seen as like a feminine kind of thing.
Now, I hope that he explains why that is, because I mean, witchcraft is considered a female form of magic. I don't really actually understand why.
Well, he's saying that, well, he's got to talk in this book about there's like a triple goddess, so he's talking about like the masculine version of everything. So I don't know if there's like a triple god, and
Right, he did mention that, right? The
yeah,
mother, the maiden, the mother, and the crone, which is a female, the triple goddess, right? The stages of life of the woman, but he mentioned a male version of that, which is interesting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the intro is like 5 pages. So, I mean, he's basically talking about like as getting stereotyped as female, and he's in a coven. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel maybe it's inaccurate, but I feel it probably is mostly women who do this kind of stuff. Like more of a majority than men. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I do remember reading somewhere, it was kind of interesting, uh that the wave of Wicca hit young females. And the reason that this author, this writer in this article was suggesting that this was a possibility, why this was happening, was because young girls tend to be feel the most disenfranchised, feel the most disempowered in society. So magic gave these young girls a way to feel a sense of power and a chance to have some control over their reality, which made me feel a little called out because I was one of those. I watched The Craft. I was a kid, I started reading Wicca books when I was like 12 years old, and I definitely felt like I lacked power or any sort of like agency in my life when I was a little girl. So I kind of like I felt a little called out.
Well,
That
yeah, I mean, me and my brother, we watched The Craft, and all our friends, which were all boys, we tried to do the, what was it, that light as a feather, thick as a board. We ended up just hurting our fingers because it didn't really work. Not not that like the way they put in a movie, but that's what I'm saying. There's like an interest. I think men have an interest in that, but it's seen generally as like a female thing. Like all the movies, the witches are generally female, except for Lord of the Rings. That's where you get like both genders doing magic or movies like
were
that.
there any female witches in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, that elf lady who turned super wicked when she
Yeah,
started talking
right,
about the ring.
right. She was awesome.
Yeah, don't give her the ring though.
But no, but we know we can trust her.
What? Did you not
We
see
know
she
we can
turned like
trust
all?
her.
She said she'd be a terrifying queen.
But she passed the test. That was the whole point of that. She didn't take it,
Yeah, but what if somebody like forced it on her?
but that's not what happened.
Yeah, okay. So I guess not. That would have been my Lord of the Rings. Anyway, I think this is an interesting book because a lot of
Yeah.
magic books don't talk about like I don't know, masculine paths or masculine energy because I guess they feel like there's enough masculine energy in the world, but the thing is that masculine energy isn't necessarily like magic or magical.
I mean, it's interesting because the whole point of, what people consider to be the gender inequality issues is that men have power. What is power, right? The power to realize one's will on earth, right? So, I mean, that might also be why, if there's any truth to that, that might be one of the reasons why men have been less inclined to engage in like that kind of practice. But
Hey, why?
sorry.
Why are they less game?
Well, if it's true that
Okay.
men have power privileges or whatever, it might explain why they're less inclined to feel like they need some way to express that. However, we do also hear of like, like there's this like counterculture of disenfranchised men that exist out there, right? That like this other side where people are saying that, well, men in our generation feel very disempowered, right? Feminism has canceled their male powers or whatever, whatever the narrative is right now. um
Yeah.
Yet I'm not sure that I'm seeing like this influx of men getting into, or I mean, who knows. I don't know. I'm not really like social in that circle either. I don't go around.
Well, I know when I go to the local witchcraft store, it generally seems to be like women in there. And when I
Women,
go in
yeah.
there, I'm like the only guy in there.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So I'm very excited to learn more about this man's perspective. I'm excited to get to chapter 1. This is a great introduction. It's a lot of food for thought. I'm excited to read it with you and to discuss it chapter by chapter.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I want to definitely read through it. Plus, I like the cover, which we'll probably, I don't know, maybe post an image of it in
It's
the
like
comments.
that movie
It's
we
a Green
watched.
Man, right? Isn't that what it is? The Green Man?
Yeah, very old, very ancient.
Yeah, very manly.
Very what?
Manly.
Manly, very manly. Pan. He reminds me of Pan. It probably is the same thing. I don't know. Anyway, well, thank you. Like, really, honestly, thank you so much for reading this book with me, and thank you for reading, doing the reviews with me. And I want to thank everybody watching this video as well, and thank everybody in the group for engaging so much and being like really great participants, like in this brand new group that's just started. It's really wonderful seeing so much engagement. So thank you so much, and happy soon to be Halloween.
Yeah, and as of recording, there's supposed to be a lunar eclipse in a few hours. No, I'm sorry, a solar a solar eclipse, not a lunar eclipse.
Big difference.
A solar eclipse in a few hours, but we're not going to see it. Not this side of the year. But in Europe and Asia, they will, because it's going to be 4 a.m. It's still going to be dark.
Well, happy for them, I guess. Although I think lunar eclipses. No, we said solar eclipse. Is it the lunar or solar eclipse that's considered like a bad omen?
I think they're both bad omens. I think the way it works is a lunar, it's more of like internal stuff, and while solar is more external material things.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope that everybody does okay on that side of the planet. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And I hope you have a beautiful solar eclipse. And namaste. Until we meet again.